Oh, welcome everyone. I'm here in the studio with Emily Dawn Escolas, and she is the founder of the Unite to Thrive nonprofit. So, Emily, I'd love to hear a little bit about what you're up to and your soul mission, as much as you want to share.
Well, hey, thanks for having me, Susie. It's a pleasure. And so, Unite to Thrive is basically the fundraising and promotional awareness hub, which I'm going to be able through this to highlight, hey, this is what's working. Let's amplify this. Hey, this is what's not working. Let's not do that anymore. And collect funding, and then I can support through that. But I've got several legs of this, which I'm really excited about. One that's we have a launch party. I've got it's the theme is really unity and recovery overall for Unite to Thrive. We're all recovering from something. I mean, come on. And so if we can just actually start spreading empathy and start, quit the shaming and just really be there, we're not going to have homelessness anymore. We're not going to have lack or scarcity. If we just share, if we just really tune into the fact that there's more than just us in this world, and then we do start looking at our neighbors like, you know what, it's better off for you and me if you have a house, you know, we've got several legs of this, which are a get moving movement. So September 1st, locally here, we're rolling out hopefully an initiative, a health initiative. So people set their own goals, and then boom, we got a supportive environment to do that. But right now I'm in Petal in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. That's where I've officiated the nonprofit and civic league. And so I've got a unity and recovery cycling that's happening already. And so Saturday is our kickoff here on the 28th. And so I've got telling stories. I've got wonderful advocates for advocacy who, have lost even, family members to it, and who are actual just so passionate, and they're turning tragedy into triumph, and they're leading ministries, and just we've had 5 or so overdose deaths here, even just in this small environment locally, in a short period of time. So I'd say it's about time we start reaching out to our neighbors and really form a true social network, And so I'm a team builder and a social worker by trade. So I have these I've seen the magic of individuals walking through a door, and then in a matter of hours, they've been playing together, laughing together. They're all of a sudden connected. They are smiling at each
So
other.
this nonprofit is for all types of recovery, whether it's
Yes.
drug addiction or PTSD or emotional trauma, any type of recovery.
Any type. I had a really cool guy in his 70s come to a bike ride this Saturday, and he had been morbidly obese and he lost 85 pounds. So hello, he's not recovering from addiction or anything like that, but he's, in a place with other people who are in a growth mindset, who are also spiritual even, and who have his best interest in mind. And he loved it so much, he's bringing his wife next time, you know? So
Awesome.
so my goal is to, through the Get Moving movement, to have as many funded activities for adults and families and everything to be a part of as possible, to stay plugged in and play together. I actually have a team building company called Games, Friends, and Fun LLC. And so with that, I'm, going to be able to also integrate these fun games. And I make people, I challenge people together to problem solve and to communicate and to play and to grow in such a way that it doesn't feel like work, or doesn't feel like, like what I love the AA meetings and stuff like that, but there's kind of like this like down energy, it's kind of like I don't know, like it's kind of like low energy. So I want to also, and I think it's necessary and wonderful, but I also want to provide, separate from the anonymous stuff, outlets for people to replace the addiction, or replace the isolationism, or replace, whatever it is that's
Yeah.
plaguing someone, with a supportive group of people that are doing fun stuff.
So I can feel your fire, and I want my community to know, where does your fire come from? Where does your passion come from?
I've always had grit. Like the last time I gave up was in kindergarten. Okay. And I regret it. I don't want it to feel that way again. But my passion comes directly from God. I mean, it is just by the grace of God, the universe, creator, however you want to name that thing,
Yeah.
that's where it's coming from, because that's the only reason I'm still alive. I mean, and I know that.
Yeah. Yeah, you and I had a conversation before getting on this video together, and just everything you've been through has set the foundation for you to be able to launch something like this to help other people thrive. Do you want to share just a small piece of a little bit of what you've been through so people get an idea of the integrity that you have to be able to lead something like this?
Sure. At age 17, I had a heat stroke. Before that, I was just, straight A student, played so many sports, had a job and everything. I was just, a standout in the community. I was always in the newspaper and things like that. And then boom, I had a heat stroke, and they mislabeled me as having a mental illness. And so at age 17, it was even rare at that time for kids to get put on medication or anything like that. They had to transport me 3 hours away just to even find a facility that would even take me. But ultimately what happened, I have mercury and lead poisoning, and I have a lot of genetic mutations after doing a lot of just actual science on who I am and stuff like that, which has led to times of, I would call them mentally expansive times, right? But the people around me haven't understood what I was going through, or that it was a growing of my like intuition and my, all those buoyancies, and stuff like that. So instead I got linked up with a system that has really enslaved me in a bondage and a persecution and a stigma and an oppression. And I've had many people out of love, throw me in cages as trying to help me. So it's been a battle.
You were imprisoned and you were in mental health facilities, like literal cages, and all these things you've been through. You know what it is to be able to come out of those experiences and thrive.
Yeah, it got me down for a while. I'm not gonna lie. I know what it's like to be engulfed with darkness, and so, but ultimately I choose God, right? And I can't choose both. So when I fully decided to put on the whole armor of God, and to not dabble in like wishing people would like have punishment, and like, it's so easy to get caught up in like I've wanted justice. Don't get me wrong. But I was playing God instead of being in the alignment of the universe.
It strikes me, the thought strikes me that true justice is helping others thrive instead of like getting vengeance. You are creating justice by, helping to pull other people out of their darkness.
You are so right. And it feels wonderful. It feels so wonderful, doesn't it? I know that's what you do for a living, so it's exciting to have that in common,
Yeah.
But I've got so I'm gonna have several legs of what I'm doing. And I'm going to pull in funding so that I can fund things so people don't have a reason not to join in, right? But I'm really going with a superhero theme. So I've got like the superhero cycling squad and the superhero scooter squad, and like I want to help people self-actualize, to be their highest self, to know how to self-love, right? And when I was in AmeriCorps, which is Peace Corps in America, they defined a hero as doing what you see somebody needs in that moment. That's the definition they gave of a hero, and it really resonated with me. And I see that even if you are that person, if you're doing what you need in that moment, not selflessly but out of self-love, we all, there's such a fine balance, but I love it. And I'm embodying it, and people are noticing it, and it's just I'm happy to see the results of my inner work, letting it go.
How can people find your nonprofit and support if they want to? Is there a website, or where can people go to be?
So I've got unitetothrive@gmail.com is a great way to email me. I'm getting my site this week. I'm getting my site launched and everything like that. But I've got reserved Unite to Thrive at unitetothrive.com, and it's a number 2. It's not the word TO, it's the number 2. But I've got unitetothrive.com, unitetothrive@gmail.com, and I've got all the social platforms and everything like that. I've just been overwhelmed, and I'm a PTSD warrior. I mean, I get
Legit.
there's fight, flight, or freeze. And when I get overwhelmed, I just sometimes freeze and like sit there for like, I could meditate for like all day, just sitting in one spot. But okay, so yeah, that's the best way to get a hold of me would be email right now. And then as my goal is to really hammer down this process here locally, I've got this wonderful, wonderful environment here in Hattiesburg and Petal, Mississippi, that I can test out what I'm doing and really perfect it more. And then I want to make it so that it's easy to kind of take on in other places. And it's already a package deal. And with that, like the biggest like science that I like to back what I'm doing on as a team builder, there's the town of Roseto in Pennsylvania in the 50s and 60s. They were the only place in America that didn't have a fatal heart attack under the age of 55. And it was the only thing that was different about that place than anywhere else. It was Italian immigrants. They had 3 generations living under one roof. They were socially connected. That was the only thing. So if we can make people feel seen, heard, understood in a way that they haven't before, we're going to have less suicides. We're going to have less overdoses.
Especially in these times.
Yes.
Especially where we've been purposefully separated and isolated to bring people together. What a beautiful gift. Thank you so much, Emily, for taking the time to share with my community what you're up to. I'll put the links in the description of the video so that people can find you and your nonprofit. Is there anything else you want to say before we say goodbye?
I just want to thank you for your time. And I love that we've reconciled like whatever insignificant beef we, didn't have. And I love the work that you do. And I'm super excited to, have you spread the light of what I'm doing. I just really appreciate the collaboration and cooperation,
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much for all you do.